Are you looking for amazing lights to your bedroom, workstation, or lighting for the kids? Addressable LEDs with WLED software is something what you will fall in love. Full walkthrough the project, consider subscribing. SmartTube welcomes. Let's go! And we can start from the LED strip. So I have this kind of LED strip. This is a WS2812B LED strip, and it is not non-waterproof. On each meter there is a 30 LED. Each LED requires 0.3 watt, as it requires 5 volts power supply. For each meter we need 9 watts. So be careful with the power supply. And for the 5 meters, so here is a roll with 5 meters, we need 45 watts, so it is 9 amperes of the power adapter. And as you can see, it has nice cables, power cables here, and for this cable here we will connect our controller. And it's worth to mention that this is a individually addressable LED strip, so each LED can have a different color. And the price is, as you can see on the screen, so it's not high. So what power adapter we will use? So I bought this power adapter as I need 2 meters of the strip. The power adapter is 5 volts, 3 amperes for 2 meters, so it will generate 15 watts. However, my 2 meters of this LED strip requires 18 watts, but our controller will have a possibility to limit the power that the strip can take from the power adapter, and actually I will lower it to probably 2 amperes, because the strip is just a night light for the kids. So it's not a strip to give a nice light. And here the cable, what I will need, the end looks like this, but we require to have 2 cables which will connect to the strip to these 2 cables. So I will need to cut it, but I think the whole cable is like a meter maybe, but I need a bit more. So I bought an extension cable, and this is the cable, and I know that this is white cable. Here I have black cable, but actually I need white cable, and the black cable will be just hidden under the bed, and the white cable will be on the bed. This gonna be only visible. So now it's time for the controller. So we will use the Wemos D1 Mini. The price is like on the screen, you can see it. It's very tiny Wi-Fi controller with bunch of connectors here, as you can see. And on the controller we will use the WLED software that is free. Now of course I will show you how to install it on this controller. However, how to connect this controller to the strip? So we need this cable, or actually I will use these cables, and I think it's quite easy to use. We don't need any special equipment to connect the LED with the controller. So these cables I think are called pin cables. So on one side there is a male, and other side is the female. The male will go to the LED, those holes, and female goes to the Wemos D1 Mini. And what else? So I think the last thing which I can show you is the LED aluminum profile. So this is the profile I will use. So you need to be careful with the width of the profile. So this one is for the 1 centimeters strip, and it is aluminum, and that's a good thing, because it will take the heat from the strip, and the strip will last longer. So it is a white profile. The other option colors I think were gray and maybe black, and the shade is a milky shade. And at the end I also bought the ending, so it will be and in more elegant way. And I will also create some holes for the cables, so I'm not sure whether I will just have the ending on one side and other side it will be just open, but I will see. And the profile will be glued to the bed by the 3M and double-sided tape. I think you should stick to it. So I think that's everything from the parts that we need. Oh, actually there is one more thing. So I will try to print on the 3D printer the box for the Wemos, the D1 Mini. I'm not sure about the color, but I have only transparent and black, but we're gonna see what I will choose. For connecting the cables on the extension cable and adapter, we will need some shrink film, I think it's called, so the connection will be quite smooth and nice. Okay, so that's it, and now I will install the WLED software on the Wemos D1 Mini, and for that let me show you. Here we have USB, micro USB, so we will need a cable with micro USB and USB on the other end, and we will connect it to the computer and install the WLED software. So I'm just connecting it now, and the other end goes to the computer. So we can go to the web page called install.wled.me, and now we can plug the other end of the cable, the USB, to the computer. What I'm doing now, and actually you can see in the first step, plug in your ESP to a USB port. Okay, it's connected. The Wemos gave one blink in blue. I'm waiting. Okay, and we need to click install, and then choose the port to which USB Wemos is connected. If you have any problems in finding the Wemos, here you can click to troubleshoot the problems and they will help you. Of course, if you couldn't find the answer, just drop a comment. But let's go. Okay, so I have something, my Wemos. So let's connect to this Wemos and let's install the software. So nothing is installed on this Wemos, so let's go. Yay, it's installed. Installation complete. Click next. Oh, okay, so it looks like I haven't had that before with my previous Wemos, but we can already configure the Wi-Fi. Okay, so we need to now enter the Wi-Fi network name and password. Connect. So the Wemos is now, the WLED software is now trying to connect to my network. Oh, device connected to the network. Okay, it's connected. Let's see whether it is. Okay, and now let's see. So it is connected, assuming it is the message was correct, so it is connected to our network, but still we don't know what is address of it, IP address. So maybe here is the answer. Okay, no. Okay, so after going to logs and console and back, I can visit the device. So is it going to show me the IP address of the device? Let's see. Oh, it's really slow. 3126. Come on. Okay, yay. So now we are on the Wemos D1 Mini, and thanks to the software that we installed and the interface on the web page, we could know what is the IP address, and it's good to know to remember it. So as I said, we will have 2 meters of the LED stripe, so we can go to the settings and here pick LED preferences, and the power adapter is for 3 amperes. So I would limit that. Oh, okay, let's say to 2.5 ampere to just give to the power supply adapter a little bit space. And another thing that we would need to do is check if the lights or the order of the color is correct. But for now, let's leave it. But if something is wrong, you can change it here, and then be sure. And then you can be sure that if you click green, and you see green. But we have to. Okay, it's here. We have to pick how many LED we have on the strip. So I said that I'm gonna have 2 meters. So 2 meters is 60 LED. So I will put 60 LED, and now we can click save. Okay, so that's it. Wi-Fi setup. As you can see, there is a correct network name, there is a password, we see the IP address. Everything seems to be installed properly. So I think that we could now connect the LED strip to the Wemos D1 Mini, and I would do it first just temporarily with the power supply from the computer, just to see whether it works and the color settings are correct. So let's switch back to the phone camera. Alright, so now we have connected Wemos D1 Mini to the computer. So there is a small power supply which we can use. Now we need to connect this controller, where is the WLED software, to the LED strip. So we'll use this connector and this cable pins. So I will take 3 of them, as we need 3. And also we can use some connectors, and actually I think the best one will be, this would be I think too big, but let's see if it works. Yeah, there is a bit gap, but actually we'll put it here. So okay, so it would look like this, so it's too big. But what I did, we have this, and if we just press it really hard, the plastic will go down, and then the female end will just close it in deep. So we need 3 of them. So this is that, and now let's try to push it down. Let's try it on the power adapter. Okay, now it moved, and this is how it looks like. You know what, maybe for the moment I will turn it off. So I'm disconnecting the cable from the computer, the USB. So yeah, light is off, and now we need to put the cables in this place. So we have 5 volts. This is a power supply, yep, for the LED strip. Then there is a ground and data. So let's put it. Okay, nice. And now we can put the cables. If we start from this side, it doesn't matter which order. So, but it's very important to connect it right way. So we have it. It looks like this. Maybe it's not a firm connection, but I will use the hot glue to make it firm later. Okay, so disconnected, and now the 5 volts is the amber. So the amber needs to go to which color? And let's see. So here are the descriptions of each cable. So I set 5 volts. 5 volts is the red one. So red one and amber. So red one and amber. So it's at the bottom. Okay, connected. The green one, and this is what I know, is the data. So the data we have, if we go here, data are also green. So green to green. Okay, green to green. And the third one, there is only place for the third one. It's yellow, and yellow was ground, and here white is also a ground. So let's connect it. Okay, connected. And I'm not sure about the connectors here, the connector and this pins. I may cut it later and use something different, connect the cables, but for now let's leave it and see whether it works. Power adapter is not needed anymore. We have the the LED strip, we have the Wemos D1 Mini. Connection is still correct, and now I will power up the Wemos. was a blue light and turn off. So usually, you see, it's not connecting well to the board. So I'm afraid that we will need to use the soldering iron. So soldering, not everyone can do it, but I'm just thinking how to do it differently. So yeah, as you can see, not everything is connected. For some of them it may not be so easy. However, if we use hot glue, and actually I will try it, hot glue, and keep it in a proper place, and then hot glue, and we would leave it. The hot glue is very firm connection. It's gluing quite nicely. So we will see. I think it will be fine. What we can do with the WLED software. So let me now turn on the recording of my screen on the computer, and you can see what's happening. Okay, so now you can see my screen on the computer and also the strip, LED strip. So how we can choose the color. So there is the whole palette, and now I'm switching to the white, cold white. Yeah, but what I really like is the effect. So with the effects we can go here, and there's really a lot of effects, but which I really like, and actually my kids enjoy, is the glitter. Oh, this one, and we can a bit slow down the effect and lower intensity, and maybe I will turn off the light so you can better see the effects of the strip. Yeah, so it is like that, really nice. Let's turn on the lights back. Okay, so it seems that everything works nicely, and if you want to play with the software, so there's lots of things, just you need to click and play with it, and you will see what you like. Probably there is one thing that it's worth to mention in the settings of the LED strip in the WLED software, is whether you want to have the lights, the LED strip, turn on after power up or any reset. So for me, I usually set it that I don't want to turn it on after any power shortage and so on. So you can see that at the default value is that it will always turn on when it gets the power. So we can switch it off now and save, and if when it lost power it will not turn on. Okay, so I think this stage is done. Yeah, I think quite easy. Yep. So now I will show you how I prepare my power supply, the power adapter. So with the power adapter, what we need to do is to cut the end and take the two cables that are inside, that they would be visible, and then we could connect this end with the extension cable that I bought and I showed before. So with this part, let's cut it here. Yeah, this black and red. So this part we don't need it, and now we need to prepare the end. So not everyone has those tools to get the isolation, so using the knife is also fine. Just be careful, don't cut yourself. Okay, so we have this, and what we will do is now can connect to this cable. I'm not sure how many meters I would need this one, but let's also prepare this one. Okay, so there is lots of methods to connect these cables. What I will use, probably you can use just twist it, and can twist it together like one by one, and use the sleeves that from heat will squeeze. So you would use the sleeve on brown with black, red with blue, and then also if they would be connected, and both of them would be in the sleeves that squeeze from the heat. Then also another sleeve should be on top of it, and that connection is fine. So probably the better one would be if you would use the soldering iron and then use those sleeves that squeeze from heat. But I think I will go with the simplest way, and the connection will be firm and it won't break. So the next step is to connect these cables. I took a bit more of the wire isolation from the LED strip because I want to wrap this cable with this one, so that's why. But first of all we need to put the heat shrink tubing to the cable, because when we already connect the cables we won't be able, yeah. So okay, one, then the second one, okay, and when we will connect it we'll also use another heat shrink tubing. I have this one. It's quite tight on the blue cable. I'm not sure how it will behave on those two cables, but probably should be fine. Okay, we have space to connect the cables. Okay. So now the brown will go with the red. So let's wrap it around. Okay, it looks good. And then take the tubing, a heat shrink tubing on it. Careful. Okay, and now I will use the lighter. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, I think we are now good. I found another lighter that works. Okay, I think it looks now good. So now second one, blue and white. Okay, I think the connection is now firm. Looks good. And now we can take the red heat shrink tubing on the cable. It's quite tight, so it's hard to move it. This is the connection then. It looks like this, and again you can use the lighter. Here is quite tight, and then as I said, a bit loose. But where we have another shrink heat tubing, it's again tight. But yeah, the end here is a bit flex, but it's fine. So actually I'm not happy about those different colors here and here, but this is what I have. Maybe later if I find white heat shrink tubing I will add it, but for now I will leave it. So we have the connection to the LED strip, and now I would go to other end of the white cable, which would connect to the power adapter, this one. And actually I will do the same with the second end. So I will wrap around this cable, I wrap this cable around the white cable. So here I may cut a bit more of the wire isolation. This is how I prepared two cables from the power adapter, and this is from the white cable. Now it's connected with the LED stripe. So how we should connect that? The brown cable is connected with the red cable from the LED strip, which is 5 volts, and the blue cable is connected with the white cable from the LED strip, which is ground. So now which to which? So the black wire is the ground. In our case, ground is in blue cable, and the power is in red. So the 5 volts, we should connect it to 5 volts, which is red from the LED strip, and the LED is connected to the brown here. So I hope you understood that. Okay, so we have it. I'm not sure about the connection, whether it's strong, but I did the best what I could without soldering it. Maybe I could use a bit more lighter here. Two connections are ready. Actually, we could already turn it on, but before that I will connect the Wemos D1 Mini to this connector, and then I think that we are ready to go. Oh, actually we can also cut the LED strip to 2 meter and we can turn it on. Yay! Okay, so I have bad news. Actually, with the hot glue it didn't work. So when I was moving these 3 pins, then it started to work, but you know, I couldn't make it working for longer. So unfortunately I need to use the soldering iron, and what I will do now, so all these 3 pins needs to be soldered, and I will do it now. So actually I won't record that. I'm not the expert or even good at soldering, so I think you should, if you don't know anything about that, you should watch some other video, but still it's not difficult, just some basic information or technique how to do it, and you will be fine. Okay, it's done. It took me like, I think, 2 minutes to do it. As you can see, it's not perfect. My soldering iron is not so small, so I think if you want to buy a one for some small ones, then, you know, be careful in the description what are the suggestions for the soldering iron. Okay, so now I will go back again to connect the cables, because actually everything now is done and we can try to play with it. So first thing, we need to connect the Wemos D1 Mini, the cable. So which way? So it is still glued here, as you can see. So the green was the data, and the data is on the right side. So just put it here, it's fine. I will take the glue from it. We don't need it. I will add a new one. Yeah, because I will still use it, but you know, the soldering had to be done. There wasn't any good connection between the pins that were inside the Wemos and then the Wemos itself. Yeah. Okay. So it's now fine. It's done. I jumped from the wiring to already a completed project. As you can see here, we have the profile. So the LED strip, and if you look a bit closer, there is double-sided tape, small pieces underneath it, and it goes 2 meters. The strip is inside. It also had a double-sided tape, so it stick to the profile very well. And on the top there is a shade, milky shade. As you can see, the connectors here are glued. The Wemos D1 Mini is also glued, but I don't have those plastic pins. I soldered it just with the wire and directly to the Wemos. Unfortunately, I bought 3 boards, Wemos D1 Mini from the Shopee portal, and the 3 were broken. They didn't work, so I did lots of few hours, I think. I lost checking what is wrong, and finally I bought new boards and it worked just straight away. So this is it. Doesn't look good now. Yeah, it's not, let's say, elegant, but I will have a 3D printed box which will be somewhere here, maybe at the back of it, and it will be hidden, so the whole cable. Now let's leave it like this. And here the power cable is going at the bottom. I think I used almost whole cable. It was like 2 meters or even 2.5 meters. As you could see on my experience, be careful with buying those Wemos D1 Mini, and I recommend buying from some local companies, not from AliExpress or Shopee, unless you have some confirmed sources that you know that the board will work. I did 2 sets for 2 beds. I've already added lights to my Home Assistant, my smart home software, and what I also link to it, I have this smart button from Mijia, and if I click a long press, the light will turn off, and the single click will do the night lights for the kids. It's an effect called glitter at small speed and small intensity, and I think the brightness is like 10%, so very very small. But there is a fun part. I can create actions to 3 clicks, 4 clicks, and so on, so the button can have a really nice automations. However, I added only 2 clicks, 2-click automation for the kids, and 2 clicks are picking random effect and random palette. of the color, so actually you never know what you will get from the WLED software. If you would like to choose specific palette or effect, you need to enter the WLED software and just pick what you want. I think the project was quite easy and there was actually small soldering, but I think the must-have is the soldering the pins on the Wemos, and you don't need to do the soldering like I did here, so the wires, you can use the pins. So the female from this cable and male from the board, but the male on the board should be soldered. And here you can see different effects and palettes after 2 clicks. If you are interested how I did it with the button, let me know. I could do a short video with it, but it's quite simple, like the most of the automations in Home Assistant. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the material and you will create your own project. Share your ideas, projects that you've done with the WLED and addressable LEDs. Please consider subscribing the channel, it will really help me and give me that boost to create new content. And peace. Thanks. See you next time.